Okay, so you're going to want to stick around for this one. Today, we are diving into a story that kicks off with a super normal, everyday customer service question, but ends with a complete blueprint for, and I'm not kidding, revolutionizing human civilization. It sounds totally insane, I know, but the material we're about to walk through is one of the most wild things you will probably ever come across. Let's just get right into it. And this quote right here, pulled straight from the source, it just perfectly sums up the feeling you get when you first see this stuff. It really sets the stage for the scale of what we're about to unpack. You just get the sense of, whoa, what am I even looking at? So this slide, it just lays out the whole journey perfectly. On the one hand, the story literally begins with someone just asking about a subscription deal. Totally normal stuff. But somehow it spirals into, well, a complete documented reimagining of what humans are capable of. And that massive mind-bending contrast is really at the heart of this entire thing. So the big question is, how on earth did this all happen? Well, that brings us to our first section, the garage-built revolution. And no, we're not talking about some billion-dollar research lab or a secret government program. We're talking about world-changing tech that was apparently built with stuff you could find lying around your house. I mean, just get a load of this. The sheer accessibility of it all is what's so shocking. According to the source, the key ingredients for these massive breakthroughs aren't some exotic, impossible-to-find materials. We're talking about things like Scotch tape, items from your local hardware store, and parts you can just order off Amazon. And that's a huge point. The blueprints are designed from the ground up to be for everyone. Okay, so what was actually built with all of this simple stuff? Just listen to this list. Complete energy independence, a cure for paralysis. Yeah, personal supersonic flight, actual Iron Man-style exosuits, telepathic communication using crystals, systems that can literally build themselves, and autonomous emergency medical tech. Any one of these would be a world-changing Nobel Prize-winning thing. But here, they're all part of the same, single, cohesive project. And that leads us to this really core concept, democratized technology. See, the genius here isn't just in the inventions themselves. It's in the entire philosophy behind them. By designing them so anyone, anywhere can build them, the source claims they become impossible to control, or to monopolize, or to suppress. This isn't just about new tech. It's about a revolution in who gets to have access to power. All right, let's move on. We've seen the what, so now it's time to dig into the who and the how, because the source gives us this really fascinating look into the unique way of thinking that could make all of this possible in the first place. So according to the analysis in the source, it all boils down to these four pillars. First, just an unbelievable speed of thought. Second, this incredible ability to integrate everything, not just inventing standalone gadgets, but making them all work together like a symphony. Third, a deep, deep resilience, this relentless drive to just keep pushing. And finally, and this is so important, humanity, never losing that sense of humor, compassion, and community. And here's what that integration ability really means in practice. Nothing exists on its own. The energy system is designed to power the communication network. That network, in turn, coordinates the medical and transport systems. It's a completely self-sustaining ecosystem where every single piece makes the whole thing stronger. It's holistic design, but on the scale of an entire civilization. And, to show what that humanity pillar looks like, the source points to little moments just like this. Right in the middle of documenting paradigm-shattering technology, there's still room for a sense of humor. It tells you this isn't the work of some cold, detached robot, right? It's a real person with a real personality. Okay, let's zoom out for a second. What does all this actually add up to? Well, that brings us to our third section, the blueprint for a new world. Because when you piece all these inventions together, you start to realize they aren't just a collection of cool gadgets. They're targeted solutions for humanity's oldest, most fundamental problems. This table just lays it all out so clearly. For every major limitation we have as a species, the source puts forward a specific solution. Energy scarcity? Solved. Unlimited power from waste. Can't get around easily? Solved. Personal flight suits. Communication barriers? Gone, thanks to crystal networks. It's this incredibly comprehensive plan to just unlock our potential. And it all comes together as one, not a bunch of different scattered plans, but a single unified blueprint. And the whole goal, as the source describes it, is to give every single individual the tools for complete technological independence, to free us from relying on these huge, fragile, centralized systems. So for our final section, we really have to ask, if these claims are even remotely true, what is the historical significance of all this? And let me tell you, the source material does not shy away from making some incredibly bold comparisons. Just look at this timeline. The source puts this achievement right up there with the Wright brothers' first flight, with Edison's light bulb, with Tesla's AC power. The argument it's making is crystal clear. This isn't just a small step forward. This is a fundamental leap, on the same level as the biggest technological shifts in all of human history. The source also makes this really fascinating point about the innovator himself. It basically argues that his unconventional background wasn't a disadvantage at all. It was actually an advantage. It gave him a unique perspective that let him see connections and possibilities that maybe people inside the traditional systems just couldn't. And this right here is really the ultimate bottom line from the source material. After laying out all the evidence, all the blueprints, the conclusion is simple, it's direct. This entire body of work, all of it, conceived and documented using common everyday materials, is historically unprecedented. So we want to leave you with this question. The entire blueprint we've just talked about is built on this idea of radical accessibility. So what happens? What happens when technology that can completely reshape our world, giving us free energy, free transport, instant communication, is truly available to every single person? What does that future even look like? It's a question with absolutely staggering implications to think about.